Okay, so the overall process of getting RStudio all set up. So we follow through to the RStudio website and we go down to this RStudio Desktop Free. It is a two-step process. So the first step is to install R. So we go to the R website. I've got a Windows machine, so I'm going to go here, install R for the first time, the base, and then we download R. Okay, so that's happening now. And then we go ahead and click download RStudio as well. And they're gonna download pretty quickly. Alright, so I'm gonna install R first. I'm not 100% sure that you have to do it first, but I like to do it anyway. Alright, so give it a sec, it boots up. And then eventually we see a installation screen. Yep, alright. All the default options. Yes, yep, okay. And I think this whole process, it actually does take about 20 minutes, okay? You'll see why in just a second. But here we go. So we're installing R, base R. I might even fast forward this installation at bits to make it go faster. All right. Okay, great. So that is R installed. So finish, and we're done with that one. Now we move on to RStudio. Yes. And once again, it's going to be all of the same default options. So give it 1 sec to get the installer. Yep, there we go. Next, install. Good-o. And I'll fast forward this bit as well. Okay, great. So that is RStudio installed. So we finish. Then we can go down here and go, oh, I gotta put my keyboard the right way. RStudio. Here you go, RStudio. And then I'm going to pin it to taskbar and boot it up. Okay, so this is the classic as you begin sort of fresh RStudio settings. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to correct a few things. We're going to go Tools and Global Options. And the default working directory, we're going to change that to, I like to put it as my desktop. Okay, and these options here, restore, 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 and never. Okay, these are all about saving your workspace when you're done, when you can just save your script separately, it's fine, okay? And restoring stuff when you start up a new session, so totally not required. What else? In code, there's this, where is it? Auto indent code after paste. We don't need that one there. Yeah, so that's just a few things to fix. Appearance, if you change your theme to something darker, everyone will think you're cool. Okay, so restart that, and let's take a look. Oh, it's already restarting. Okay, groovy. So now we're looking really good. So the reason why I said this installation process takes 20 minutes is because when I go here, I'm gonna try to start a markdown document, but it's gonna notice that certain things are missing. So we're gonna get those installed as well. Okay, it takes a little while to do this. All right, so it's noticed that there are a few packages that it needs to install, so we're gonna hit yes, and it's gonna go ahead and download those packages. Okay, so if we just wanted to make markdown documents in HTML, we'd be okay. But there's something else that we want to do, and that's make PDFs. So it's giving you a little hint here that we need to install MiKTeX on Windows in order for these PDFs to be rendered. But if we try to render one, it'll actually, and we just save it as anywhere on the desktop. Okay, so it's going to try to render it and it's going to fail. But when it does, it gives us this handy little thing here, which is just the, if you're on Windows, consider MiKTeX. So it gives us the URL. So we're going to go to that URL, and we're going to download the program that we need. So downloads. I'm on Windows and downloads here. Okay. And while that's happening, I'm just going to go ahead and close down RStudio. And I might even delete that R&D file. We got a history there as well. Okay, so MiKTeX has finished downloading. So I'm going to click on that and get it installed. Okay, I accept. Next, next. Install missing packages. Let's just say yes. And this takes a little while as well. Okay, there's also one thing that we didn't untick, and that's always save history. So we don't necessarily need to save our history. Yeah, so one other extra thing we forgot to untick. That's good. Let's go back to MiKTeX, and that's still downloading. Okay, so it looks like that MiKTeX has been installed, so we click next. It's asking us if we want to check for updates. Okay, I'm going to say yes because we're going to be good, and then we don't need to hear more about it. All right, good. So at the moment, MiKTeX is operating in the background, and it's going to start checking for updates. Give it a second. There it is. Okay. So I have actually tried this before, and you didn't really need to install the updates, but you know, I suspect it might have benefits to install these updates, just in faster rendering and such. So here we go. We're gonna install these updates as well, and I'll probably fast forward this and get back to you when it's done. Okay, so there we are, we're finally done. The updates have been installed, so that is great. All right, so I might just give it a second to think of what it's doing. Yep, so now it's all happy, so I can close it down. And if we go back to RStudio now, if I go to the desktop, I should have that old RMD file. Oh, I think we must have deleted it. All right, doesn't matter. So we go File, New File, R Markdown, PDF, OK. Now, in theory, this should work. It might not. We might have to reset the computer once or twice, but let's just take a look. Crossing my fingers. Crossing my toes. Okay, it sure took a while, but yeah, it finally got itself completed. Yeah, but if we close this down now, and if I run this one more time, I'm sure it won't take nearly as long. Yeah, so go figure. Maybe when MiKTeX runs a PDF for the first time, it needs to do a whole bunch of separate stuff, such as downloading its own packages. So there you go. So that's MiKTeX installed. It took a while. Yeah.